Welcome back to my channel, and this is the part 2 to the part 1 of my FIREBOY DML scatter music video tutorial. The part 1 involved the apocalyptic sky effect, and it pretty much went well, and so I made this into 3 parts as I explained in the first one, because the tutorials might be too lengthy if I should put it all in one video. So I feel like if you watch one, you like it, you can move on to the previous one or the next one. And so yes, this part 2 will involve the Sci-fi Eye effect. It's actually an adaptation of one of the practical effects they did, which involved using contact lenses, and I thought, oh, since this has this sort of futuristic vibe, let me add a sci-fi effect as a third effect to this tutorial, because it will feel complete. Anything else there would be a bit too complex to teach in form of a tutorial, as I went through the music video multiple times. So yeah, this is like a bonus easy effect, which is the Sci-fi Eye effect. And so without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Okay, launch Adobe After Effects, create a new comp 1280 by 720p, name it as Sci-fi Eye, and it's 10-second duration with 24 frames a second. Click OK. And drag in the video with the guy with the close-up on his eye, place that in, then draw the cursor to around the 3-second mark, press N to trim it to that area, then right click and select trim to comp, and that will just resize it so you work with the area we want. Then right click on the footage, go to time stretch, set 250 as a value, and that will slow down the clip to make it smooth. Then you duplicate it 3 times, because you're going to draw a mask on the top layer and mask out the eye, since that's what we're dealing with. So I drew a mask around the eye, then I realized I should have pre-composed before doing that, so I cut the mask, like Ctrl X to remove it, and then I pre-composed the top layer, Shift Ctrl C, named it as eye, deleted the other 2 under because I don't need them, then I duplicated the top one twice and paste the mask we just drew, then right click on the mask and hit track mask. Once you've tracked it, if you drew it perfectly, you should track well. You then change the mask mode to add, and that's to check how neat the edges are. Then you set it to subtract, and that's seeing that you have to feather it out to around 4 pixels to make the edges neater. Then yeah, you turn the layer under back on, and then you go to the layer under, then you go to layer new and select null. And once you select the null, we're going to motion track the eye so that we can place the hologram, kind of like Sci-fi Eye effect on it. Now I sort of made this thing big, and because of the fact that I made it big, I wanted it to track it accurately. I sped it up while editing this tutorial. It took over 20 minutes plus to track this thing well. And so I'm just going to say, don't make it too big, but just try to track it well. Then you hit apply and select the targets as the null, and hit apply. Just scrubbing through to see if it tracked well. As you can see, it did. Then you go into the assets and bring in the circle 06 loop and place it under the first layer. Then scale it down, just try to resize it over the eye. That's just you playing around. You can unlink the scale value so that you can adjust it vertically and horizontally, like differently, like I did there, so that it doesn't affect, just depending on how you want to distort the shape and size. So you just experiment till it looks right to you. And so once I did all of this, since the mask is on the layer on top, I took this circle layer and then parented it to the null we just tracked so that it follows the movement of that null, and then it's stuck to the eye, as you can see. And so I'm basically just adjusting here to see what works. And then what I did now was that you can see that the top and bottom are crops. I turned on the top layer, the eye layer. It was off before. The one where we masked out the eye was off. So now for the circle, it's a matter of experimenting. I duplicated it, I went to effects and presets, went to the one under, and then applied the glow effect and the fill effect. You can just pause and see the values I used, because it was just me experimenting to see what worked. And the color was around orangish, because it's the theme color for the scatter music video. So I did that, and I'm just pretty much going back and forth to see if it's looking better. And so adjusting values and basically checking out what works. And so yeah, now I'm going to color grade the top clip, because again this is flat color like the part 1 of this tutorial, which is the sky effect. So I'm just basically saturating, adding contrast, and adjusting the temperature value. So you just pause and look at the values as I set, and then moving forward, after you've done this, you have to copy the lumetri color, because we are doing this on the top layer, which is where we maxed out the eye from. So it won't, as you can see, it's not showing on the eye. So once you're done, you just copy it and then go to the second eye layer that we created there and paste it on it, and it should work out well. And now it looks normal. And so here I'm just playing around with the circle effect now, and so I'm just, you can pause and see the new values I set for the glow, or you could just adjust it to you like what you see, doesn't really matter. So I duplicated it, and basically I'm trying to make a smaller inner like pupil, or what I call it, to give it this sort of cooler look. So yeah, around 9.9 by 10% scale value looked fine. And so now what I'm going to do is I want to make this have this bouncing and out effect. Ignore the rotation I did here, it's not necessary. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to keyframe the scale value where it is, then move by 5 frames, which is, I've pasted it on the screen. Then I reduced it to like 8.9 worked, and then I moved forward by 5 frames again, then copied the first frame, like highlighted it, then Ctrl C, Ctrl V, then copied from the second and third frame, moved 5 frames and pasted it forward. So just be pasting it like that till it ends, and you notice that it's going in and out to this like cool, it's like this coolish little detail, smallish detail. And with that, I can pretty much say you're done. So everything I'm doing from this point is just, finesse, aesthetics. As usual, I always do cinematic black bars, they're not necessary. So what I did was create 2 adjustment layer, which is Ctrl Alt Y. The first one I applied the transform, the one on top I applied the motion tile. So as usual, I crop out 80% of the output height, then I use the transform to push it downwards and upwards till I feel that it's well framed within the black bars. Then there was this transparency thing that was on. I highlighted where you can turn it off or on. Then I went to created another adjustment layer under those 2 I initially created, and searched for the curves in the effects and presets panel, and I take the curve and I paste it on, and just to add a bit more contrast, and yeah, not too much, not to look too weird, but just to finish it off. All of this is just aesthetics. This tutorial really ended at the point where I scaled in and out, like for the second eye circle part. But like here, as you can see, this is the end result. You just apply track, create a mask out on the top layer for the eye, then track the mask, and once you track the mask, you have that. Then go to the eye under and track the movement of the eye. And once you track the movement for the eye, you have the data you need. Then place the circle under the masked out eye you initially made, and then parent the circle to the motion that you just tracked onto the null. And once you've done that, the eye will move, the circle will move with the eye. You adjust the eye and apply all the aesthetics, the glow and stuff till it looks well, right. And you color grade the clip and all, and they apply the effects you need. And that's pretty much it for part 2 of the 3-part series of my FIREBOY scatter music video tutorial. If you did like this, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and part 3 is coming really soon. It might be around 15 minutes. I don't want it to be long because it's quite complicated, but I'll try my best as possible to make this as interesting. And then I'll be working towards a new brand of a set of tutorials coming soon based on Nigerian music video. And again, it's your boy here, Mide_I. Peace.